How do you wake up each morning is your first touch, the cold glow of your phone. Before you even touch your own heart, do you dive straight into emails, notifications, deadlines, before the sun even climbs past your window? But what if I told you there's a hidden door? A door you can open every morning, a door that leads you back to yourself. Would you dare to step through morning as more than light outside? It's sacred. It's the bridge between chaos and stillness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere is more peaceful than your own soul." And yet, that's the very place we abandon first. Sound familiar? The coffee is still hot, but your mind is already cold, racing the clock, like a rushing river, forgetting the water always knows its way to the sea. Picture this. Your mind is a lake. The surface ripples always restless, but beneath the depth is silent, untouched. Morning is your chance to dive there. One deep breath, one whispered reminder, and suddenly, you realize you don't have to run. Seneca once wrote, "Very little is needed for a happy life. It's all in the way you think." Happiness isn't hiding in a checklist. It lives in the moment you choose presence. So ask yourself, if this were the last sunrise of your life, would you drown in the screen, or would you sit still, breathe, and give thanks that you're alive? You are not your tangled thoughts. You are the sky, not the cloud. You are not lacking. You are already whole. You are not bound by pressure unless you invite it in. So every morning before the world floods in, whisper this: I am not pressure. I am not the noise. I am presence. I am peace. It's not just a phrase. It's a vow to yourself, to your life. And if you're willing to try, start tomorrow morning. One breath, one mantra, one new beginning. Comment below with the reminder you'll choose. Because the very first words you speak to yourself are the seed for your entire day. And that's why we need to pause, just for a beat. Because morning isn't just the moment you open your eyes, it's the moment that sets the rhythm of your entire day. If you let the world pull you in, you'll lose your center. But if you choose to return to yourself, morning becomes the key to peace. Here's the first truth I want to give you. I am not my thoughts. This morning when you opened your eyes, who showed up first? You, or the voice in your head, that familiar whisper? You're not good enough. You're going to fail. How many times have you believed it? And what if it was only a passing cloud while you are the sky? The mind is like a restless monkey, leaping from yesterday's mistakes to tomorrow's fears. The unopened inbox, the 9 a.m. meeting, the traffic jam, the crying child. And you think this is me. But no, you are not the monkey. You are the sky beneath its branches. Epictetus once said, "We suffer not from things themselves, but from our opinions about them." One harsh email doesn't define you. One rejection isn't a life sentence. They're just clouds drifting by. Picture your mind as a still lake. The surface ripples, texts, deadlines, comparisons. But the depth remains unmoved. Morning is your chance to dive into that depth. Just 60 seconds. Breathe 4-4. In for 4, out for 4. Name it. This is the thought, I'm not good enough. It is not me. Remind yourself, I am the observer. Think of the mind as a table. Every thought knocks, asking for a seat. Some are kind, some are toxic. You are the gatekeeper. You decide who comes in. You decide who leaves. I once let a single piece of negative feedback ruin an entire day. Until I tried stopping naming the thought and letting it drift away. And the strange thing, there was nothing broken in me to fix. I just had to stop identifying with it. A space opened. And in that space, there was freedom. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. You are not the wave. You are the ocean that contains it. When you remember this, peace returns. Not because thoughts disappear, but because they no longer control you. So every morning before you touch the screen, touch your mind. Whisper, "I am not my thoughts. I am the stillness beneath them." Practice it. Just 60 seconds today. Then share in the comments what thought did you name. Because the very first words you speak to yourself are the seed for your entire day. Truth number 2. Don't believe everything you think. Have you ever woken up with a strange voice in your head? It whispers, "You're a failure. You'll never be good enough." No one said it. Not your friends. Not your boss. Just your own mind. And the scarier part, you believe it. Let me tell you about Alan. Every morning before his first sip of water, he'd hear the same words, "You're worthless." He tried to escape, through work, through TV, through noise and distraction. But the voice never left. It was always there like a shadow. Until one day, Alan tried something different. He didn't fight it. He didn't try to win. He simply observed. And what he saw was simple. It was just a cloud. Not good, not bad, just passing. For the first time, he was free. You see, the mind is a storyteller that never stops. Some stories are true. Many are just echoes of fear, old wounds, or borrowed expectations. But when we believe them all, we become prisoners of the stories. Epictetus once said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them." One harsh word doesn't become a wound unless you allow it. Imagine your mind as a dinner table. Thoughts knock, asking for a seat. Some are kind, some are toxic. And you are the gatekeeper. You decide who sits down. Or picture the sky. Storms roll and clouds pile up, but the sky itself still whole, still unbroken. And so are you. I've heard that same voice myself. "You're not ready. Don't even try." But instead of believing it, I asked, "Is this really true?" And in that moment, a space opened. And in that space was freedom. That is liberation. Not silencing every thought, but seeing them clearly. Not fighting the storm, but knowing the sky is never harmed. So tomorrow morning before you touch your screen, whisper to yourself, "I am not the voice in my head. I am the sky. I am free." Repeat it. Breathe it in. And let those words become your shield for the day. And if you'd like, share in the comments what voice shows up most often in your head. And what name will you give it? Truth number 3. Everything I need is already within me. Have you ever woken up with a sense of lack? Not enough time, not enough money, not enough recognition. As if you always had to become some other version of yourself before you deserved happiness. But what if the truth is, right now, you're already complete? We live in a world that whispers, "You're not enough." Social media flaunts someone else's success. Ads remind you that you need the next thing to feel whole. Work demands more and more. No wonder so many look in the mirror each morning and see only emptiness. But Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed for a happy life." It is all within your way of thinking. Peace isn't in a finished checklist. It isn't in someone else's approval. It begins inside. Picture your soul as a house. Maybe there's dust on the shelves. Maybe the windows are shut. But the foundation, still strong, still whole. You're not a broken project waiting for someone to fix. You are a home waiting for you to return. I used to chase validation outside of me, work twice as hard, burn out 3 times faster. But joy never came. Until one morning I sat still. I did nothing. And I realized peace isn't a prize. It's a gift. And I'm the one who gets to open it. Seneca said, "The richest person is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least." When we stop searching out there, we begin to discover in here. And there we find an ocean of patience, a sky of compassion, a fire of strength, none of which ever left us. You are not lacking. You are not broken. You are not begging for missing pieces from the world. You are already whole, already complete. Peace, strength, wisdom, compassion, all of it is waiting inside you, just waiting for you to remember. So tomorrow morning, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "Everything I need is already within me. I am not lacking. I am not broken. I am whole." Try it. One breath, one reminder, one new beginning. And if this speaks to you, share your own affirmation in the comments. Because the first words you say to yourself are the seeds of your entire day. Truth number 4. The illusion of lack. Have you ever woken up and heard that whisper, "I'm not enough. I'm missing something. Not enough money, not enough love, not enough success," as if you were just an empty cup waiting for someone else to fill you. But what if the truth is, you are already full right here, right now? We live in a world that never stops whispering, "You need more to be happy." Social media shows perfect moments. Ads tell you joy is in the next purchase. Work culture measures your worth in KPIs and deadlines. No wonder every morning so many look in the mirror and see someone incomplete. But Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed for a happy life. It is all within your way of thinking. What you're searching for isn't out there. It's in how you see yourself. Picture your mind as a lake. The wind blows, ripples rise, and you think the whole lake is disturbed. But deep down, the water is still, untouched, whole. Your nature is the same, already complete. It's only the ripples of thought that make you forget. I used to chase enough out there, work harder, push more, collect compliments. But every time I reached it, the emptiness returned. Until one morning, I sat still, took a deep breath, and whispered, "I already have what I need. I already am who I need to be." In that moment, the illusion of lack melted away like mist in the sun. Seneca said, "The richest person is the one who is content with the least." Wealth is not in adding more. It's in remembering you were never lacking. You are not here to beg for missing pieces. You are not an empty cup waiting to be filled. You are the spring. You are the ocean. You are already whole. And when you remember this, fear loses its grip. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, place your hand on your heart and whisper, "Everything I need is already within me. I am not lacking. I am whole." Try it. 3 deep breaths, one reminder, one new beginning. And if this touched you, share in the comments, what words will you whisper to yourself tomorrow morning? Truth number 5. Nothing outside can break my peace. Has a single offhand comment ever wrecked your whole day? A cold look, a curt email, chaos out there, pulling you into a storm in here. But what if the truth is this? Nothing outside can break the peace inside you. Picture a deep lake. Wind can whip, leaves can fall, the surface can ripple, but at the bottom, stillness, unmoved. That's you. You're not the ripple, you're the depth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The problem isn't a noisy world. The problem is the way we let it in. Do you live like a sponge, soaking up every criticism, every headline, every shard of negativity until you feel heavy, tired, broken? You don't have to be a sponge. You can be a mirror. Reflect without holding on. I once worked in a high-pressure office. Phones ringing non-stop. Emails piling up. One harsh comment from a coworker could haunt me for a week. Then one day I tried something simple. Observe without absorbing. I took a long breath and told myself, this is only a ripple. I am the deep lake. And the miracle was this: my peace hadn't vanished. It was still there. I only had to return to it. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality. The storm can't destroy you. It can only skim the surface. You are not what someone else says. You are not today's wind. You are the still point. You are the center. Stand there and nothing can shake you. So each morning whisper to yourself, nothing outside can break my peace. I am the deep lake, not the ripple." Try it. Before you open email, before you react, 3 deep breaths, repeat the line. And if this resonates, share below. What tried to shake you this morning and how did you stay steady? Truth number 6. Begin with the end in mind. If today were your last sunrise, what would you do? Would you dive straight into emails, texts, endless meetings? Or would you sit still, let the sunlight touch your skin and whisper, "Thank you for one more breath"? It sounds heavy, doesn't it? But in truth, it's the key to a free life. The ancients had a phrase, memento mori, remember you will die. Dark. No. To the Stoics, it wasn't about fear. It was about awakening. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Because only when we remember our limits do we touch what truly matters. How many times have you lost your peace over something small? How many hours have you poured into things that on your deathbed won't mean a thing? We live as if we're immortal, chasing titles, arguing over trifles, running invisible races, and in the process, we lose the only moment we ever truly own, the present. I once faced a moment where all my long-term plans collapsed overnight. At first, despair, but then, strangely, freedom. I began to ask myself if today were the last, how would I live? And the answers were never finish, one more report. They were always, call someone I love, laugh harder, watch the sunset, live true to myself. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." When you know your time is finite, you stop wasting it. This is not a reminder to fear death. It's an invitation to finally live. When you carry the end in your heart, you love the present more deeply. You choose peace over conflict, kindness over cruelty, the essential over the trivial. So tomorrow morning, whisper to yourself, if today is my last, I will live with peace and purpose. Write down one thing you'd do if this were your final day. Then do it today. And share below. What would you choose if this sunrise were your last? Truth. 7. Amor fati, love. What happens? If this morning life threw an obstacle your way, what would you do? Would you complain, resist, get angry? Or would you be bold enough to smile and whisper, I choose to love this? Sounds crazy, right? But that is the spirit of amor fati, love of fate, love of everything life hands you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, a fire turns everything thrown into it into light and heat, meaning obstacles aren't here to block you. They are the very fuel that makes you shine. Think about modern life. You're stuck in traffic for an hour. You can curse, slam the wheel, or turn on a podcast and make your car a moving classroom. You lose the dream job. You can break down or use it as fuel to level up and prepare for an even bigger opportunity. Your flight gets delayed. Your kid spills milk just as you're rushing out. You can lose it, or take a deep breath and remind yourself, this too is life. Epictetus, once a slave, endured endless suffering. Yet he still said, don't wish for things to happen as you want. Wish for them to happen as they do, and your life will flow in peace. This isn't passivity. It's the art of turning adversity into strength. I once failed in a major project. At first, I cursed fate, but then I shifted. Instead of resisting, I partnered with it. I asked, what is this here to teach me? And that question reshaped my entire career. Amor fati is not just acceptance. It is love. Love of joy and pain. Love of sunrise and storm. Because every event, light or dark, is a brick in the building of you. And when you stop resisting, you become the creator of meaning no matter what comes. So tomorrow morning, whisper to yourself, whatever comes today, I choose to work with it. I choose to love it. Then try this. Pick one thing you normally resist and practice loving it. And share your experience below. Because when you love your fate, even obstacles become the way. Truth number 8. Premeditatio malorum, preparing for adversity. What happens if this morning out your car won't start, if a coworker snaps at you, if a big plan suddenly falls apart? Do you panic, explode, or do you stay calm like you already saw it coming? That is the power of premeditatio malorum, the Stoic art of preparing for adversity. The Stoics didn't live to avoid hardship. They trained themselves to face it. Seneca wrote, "The man who anticipates misfortune takes away its power when it comes." Epictetus reminded us, expect that things will not always go your way. So why are we still shocked when trouble shows up, when trouble is the only guarantee? Picture a warrior stepping into battle. He knows arrows will fly, blades will clash. Because he has prepared, his heart does not tremble. He is ready. And in modern life, you can train the same way. It takes just 1 or 2 minutes each morning. Sit down and ask yourself, what could throw me off today? Maybe it's traffic. Maybe it's an urgent email. Maybe it's a difficult client. Write down 3 things. Then write down the best response that's in your control. If it's traffic, you listen to an audiobook instead of cursing. If it's a cranky coworker, you take a breath, you don't fire back. If a plan falls apart, you move to plan B instead of complaining. I tried this and it changed my whole day. Instead of being swept away, I felt like I was playing a game of chess already 3 moves ahead. Calm, steady, in control. By rehearsing adversity, you turn surprises into tests you've already practiced for. You stop fearing the unexpected bad, because when it comes, you smile. I was ready for this. I am prepared. So tomorrow morning, whisper to yourself, I prepare for every adversity. I am not surprised. I own my response. Try it. Write down 3 possible challenges and decide your response before they happen. Then share in the comments. How did you prepare? Because when you're ready, no adversity can steal your peace. Truth. Number 9. Let go. Let life flow. Have you ever felt exhausted from trying to control everything? The plan must go smoothly. People must understand you. Life must unfold exactly your way. But reality, it's a storm. It blows apart your neat little map, and you tense up until you break. But what if rather than fighting, you learn to let go? Look at the bamboo in the wind. It doesn't stand stiff like oak. It bends, it sways, it yields. And because it bends, it does not break. It stands strong. Life works the same way. The tighter you cling, the more rigid you become. When you release, you open space for life's natural flow to carry you forward. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Love the fate that threads itself into you." Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means knowing what belongs to you and what belongs to life. Picture a river. It doesn't argue with the rocks. It doesn't curse the bends. It simply flows. And by flowing, it finds the sea. We too must learn that wisdom. Do your part, work love, choose kindness. The rest, let it flow. I remember nights I couldn't sleep trying to control what was never mine to hold. The result? Exhaustion, anxiety, emptiness. Until one evening I wrote down 3 things within my control. Then whispered, "The rest I release." And something shifted. My mind softened. And in that space, clarity returned. Letting go is not weakness. It is the strength of trust. It lets you see clearer, breathe deeper, live freer. Because only when you stop clinging can life itself carry you. So each morning, whisper, "I do my part," and I release the rest. I let life flow. Try it tomorrow. Write down 3 things you can control, then 3 things you need to release. Take a deep breath. Hand the rest to the river, and you will feel it. Lightness, freedom, and peace. Truth. 10. The power of letting go. Have you ever clenched a fistful of sand? The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. Life works the same way. The harder you try to control it, the more your peace escapes. So what if the answer isn't to hold tighter, but to release? Think of bamboo in the storm. It doesn't snap because it bends. It sways with the wind. And when the storm is over, it still stands tall. Think of a river. It doesn't argue with the rock. It doesn't demand the mountain move. It flows. And in its own way, it always finds the sea. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Love the fate that threads itself into you." Letting go isn't giving up. It's knowing what belongs to you and what belongs to life. How many times have you exhausted yourself trying to rewrite the past, trying to control someone else, or worrying about a future that hasn't even arrived? And what was the result? Fatigue, anxiety, helplessness. But when you return to what is in your hands, your attitude, your choices, your presence, peace slowly returns. I remember being trapped in a failed project. Over and over my mind repeated, "It should have been different. I should have done better." Until one day I wrote, "This has already happened. I cannot change it, but I can choose my response today." That moment opened like a door, and through it rushed relief. Seneca once said, "Wealth is not having much, but needing little." When you grip less, you depend less. When you let go, you are finally free. Letting go is not defeat. Letting go is release. Like a tree shedding its leaves to prepare for spring, like a river flowing around the stone. When you let go, you create space for healing. When you let go, you let new light pour in. So each morning whisper, "I release what's beyond my control." I choose to focus on what is mine, my mindset, my choices, my presence. Try it tomorrow. Write down 3 things you cannot control, then release them. Write down 3 things you can do today and act on them. you will feel it. Lighter, clearer, freer. Truth. 11. Presence over pressure. Do you ever open your eyes and pressure is already waiting? The ding, the emails, the expectations, your heart racing before your feet touch the floor. How do you breathe in a life like this? What if the escape was right there? In your very first breath, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Peace doesn't live in an empty calendar. It lives in the moment you choose to be here. Picture a lake. The wind rises, the surface ripples, but the depths still, untouched. Pressure is the wind. Presence is the depth. Have you ever cleared your entire to-do list and still felt restless because peace isn't found in finishing? It's found in arriving right here, right now. I used to start my morning scrolling. 5 minutes later, my mind was chaos like a kitchen full of dirty dishes. Then I tried something else 5 quiet minutes. Breathing. Writing one guiding line. It was like wiping the counters clean, resetting mission control. And the day changed. I wasn't dragged by it. I led it. Seneca once said, "It's not that we have too little time, but that we waste much of it." When you place your full attention on this breath, this heartbeat, you stop wasting. You start living. Here's a 5-minute morning protocol. 30 seconds, close your eyes. Breathe. 4, 4, 6. Inhale. 4. Hold. 4. Exhale. 6. 2 minutes, answer one question. What matters most today? 2 minutes, write one line to carry with you. Read it out loud, I choose presence. 30 seconds, imagine yourself as the depth of the lake. The wind may come, but you remain still. The pressures won't vanish, but control shifts back to you. You are not a fragile boat on stormy waters. You are the ocean itself. The waves are noisy. The ocean is quiet and strong. So each morning whisper, I choose presence, not pressure. I am enough in this very moment. Try it tomorrow. 5 minutes. Screen off. Breathe. Write. Read. Then step into your day like the depths of the lake, clear, steady, unshaken. Truth. 13. Protecting peace in a noisy world. Do you find yourself pulled into other people's energy? One complaint and your mood sinks. One burst of anger and suddenly there's a storm inside you. How many times just this week have you carried someone else's frustration all the way home? Why do we let other people's emotions steal our peace? Ask yourself, in this world, are you a sponge or a mirror? A sponge absorbs everything it touches, clean or dirty, it holds on. A mirror is different. It reflects. It sees, but it doesn't keep. It doesn't turn itself into a landfill for emotions. Epictetus once said, "It is not he who reviles you that injures you, but your opinion that you are injured." The power isn't in their words. It's in you, in your choice of response. I remember sitting on a flight once. The man next to me complained from takeoff to landing. At first, I felt my chest tighten as if his frustration was spilling into me. But then I tried something different. I pictured myself as a mirror. I listened. I observed. But I didn't absorb. And to my surprise, peace returned. Seneca reminded us we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Reality is often just a sentence. The pain, the anger, the tension, those are what we add to it. So what's the secret? It's the pause. The space between stimulus and response. Like a river flowing around a rock instead of becoming the rock. The world will be noisy. People will be chaotic. But you don't have to become a copy of that chaos. You are not a sponge. You are a mirror. And your peace is not something anyone can take. So each morning, whisper to yourself, I am a mirror, not a sponge. I reflect, but I don't absorb. My peace is mine. Repeat it. Feel it. And next time someone throws a storm your way, remember, you are the still lake. You choose to reflect, not absorb. Truth 14. You're not behind. Did you wake up feeling late to your own life? LinkedIn announces a promotion. Instagram shows a new house key. Your inbox pings a deadline. And a voice whispers, you're slow. You're not fast enough. But is that truth? Or just the mirage of comparison Seneca wrote? It's not that we have little time, but that we waste much. The problem isn't your pace. It's that you're running to someone else's song. Picture a river. Some stretches roar, some glide. It doesn't compare with the river next door. It finds its own tempo, and both reach the sea. Life is the same. Each of us has a tempo like jazz, sometimes driving, sometimes still, always a complete song. Have you ever sped up to catch someone else's timeline and felt empty, and other times moved slower, but each step was full, calling your mom, playing with your kid, doing one right thing, and peace arrived quietly like sunrise? We worship speed, faster, more, earlier. Stoicism says the opposite, clarity over speed. Marcus Aurelius urged, let each act be as if it were your last, not rushed right. Real life stuck on the I-405 stew. Or breathe for 60 seconds and make one meaningful call. Mornings stacked with meetings, jump into everything. Or lock one essential priority. Texts of comparison in your head, believe them. Or ask, is this really my song? You are not behind. You're in the right chapter. Trade speed for clarity. Trade race for walk. When you trust your own tempo, the world grows quiet. Your heart unhurried. The path appears. So this morning, pause for 60 seconds. Inhale, exhale, ask, what is my next right step? Do just that one thing and whisper, I am not behind. I trust my pace. Repeat it, feel it, then step steady to the music only you can hear. Truth 15.5. Questions to anchor your morning. Have you ever woken up and felt your mind like a stormy ocean? Thoughts pulling, emotions crashing, and before your first sip of water, you're already exhausted. But what if there were 5 simple questions like lanterns hanging along a path to light your way each morning? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, retreat into yourself, for there is no refuge more peaceful. These 5 questions are that retreat, not to escape, but to remember who's really steering the ship. Question 1. Is this thought true? How many times have you believed a negative whisper without checking, like thinking the shadow is a monster, until you turn on the light and see it's just a jacket on a chair? Question 2. What am I chasing outside that already lives inside? We hunt for recognition, love, worth. But Seneca said, happiness doesn't come from the outside. It comes from how we see. Question 3. Who's steering the boat of my emotions? Old wounds, a fragile ego, the need for approval. If you're not holding the wheel, don't be surprised when the boat drifts. Question 4. Am I reacting blindly or responding with awareness? Epictetus taught, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgment about them. One breath, just one, turns instinct into intention. Question 5. What am I clinging to that no longer serves me? Like carrying a backpack full of rocks. You don't feel light until you set it down. These 5 questions aren't burdens. They're lanterns. They don't demand perfection. They invite clarity. And when you ask them, you open a door from chaos to calm, from pressure to peace. So tomorrow morning, try this. Pick one question. Write down your first answer. That's your first lantern. And whisper, I begin my day with clarity. I ask, and I return to myself. Repeat it. Feel it. Let these lanterns guide you no matter how dark the world outside may seem. Truth. 16. Building a Stoic morning ritual. What do you do in the first 30 minutes after waking? Grab your phone, scroll the news, answer emails. If so, you may have already handed your day to the world before you've even taken your first full breath. But what if those first 30 minutes became a Stoic ritual, a morning fortress? Marcus Aurelius wrote, retreat into yourself, for there is no refuge more peaceful. And the first 30 minutes are the door into that refuge. First, protect them. No screens, no notifications, no email, just you in silence. Like wiping the kitchen counter before cooking, you're clearing the mind before the feast of the day. Next, write down 3 things to let go. A petty worry, a regret from yesterday, a heavy expectation. Each word on the page is a stone dropped from your backpack, and suddenly, you're lighter. Then stand in front of a mirror, not to fix your hair, but to look yourself in the eye and whisper, I am not what happens to me. I am how I respond. That phrase becomes invisible armor. It walks with you. It shields you from the stray arrows of the world. Finally, just sit and breathe. 5 minutes, not to escape, but to lay a foundation. Like a house needs a deep foundation to stand through storms, your mind needs stillness to endure the day. Imagine it. Instead of beginning like a boat pulled by waves, you begin as the one holding the rudder. Instead of reacting, you anchor. Instead of being a servant to the world, you lead. A Stoic morning ritual doesn't need to be complicated. Just 30 minutes. But it can change your whole day. And day by day, it can change your life. So tomorrow morning, take one step. Just one. And whisper with me, I am not what happens to me. I am how I respond. That is your mantra. That is your strength. And that is the foundation of an unshakable day. Truth. 17. The morning mantra. What if there were a simple mantra? Just one phrase that could change the rhythm of your entire day. Would you try it? It doesn't need to be long. It doesn't need to be poetic. Just a small reminder, but strong enough to keep you steady in the storm. Have you ever placed such a phrase in your heart, the very moment you opened your eyes? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. And that power begins in the morning. Here's the mantra. I am not my thoughts. I don't need to prove my worth. I am the guardian of my mind. It may sound small, but it's a seed. And a seed planted at sunrise can shape the whole field of your day. You are not the storm of anxiety. You are the sky, vast, unbroken, where clouds drift in and drift out. You are not the crashing waves of doubt. You are the deep ocean, where all waves dissolve into stillness. Picture your mind as a table. Every thought knocks, asking for a seat. Some are kind, some are toxic. But you are the gatekeeper. You decide who stays. You decide who leaves. Epictetus said, it's not events that disturb us, but our judgment about them. And this morning mantra is the key to wise judgment. You choose not to identify with every voice in your head. You choose to step back. You choose to stay in command. And when you do, something remarkable happens. The world outside may stay loud, but inside you stay calm. Challenges may come, but you've already planted peace in the first minute of your day. So before you touch your screen, touch your mind and whisper with me, I am not my thoughts. I don't need to prove my worth. I am the guardian of my mind. This is not just a phrase. It is a candle in the dark. It is the key that unlocks a steady day. And from one day, it can transform a life. Imagine this. Every morning you hold a lantern in your hand. Its light isn't meant to chase away the darkness out there. It's meant to shine on the path within. The question is, do you have the courage to hold it? Or will you keep walking in the familiar dark where phones, emails, and worries are waiting? We've just walked through 17 affirmations, 17 seeds, 17 lanterns the Stoics left us as timeless gifts. I am not my thoughts. Nothing outside can break my peace. Amor fati. I love whatever happens. I trust my own pace. Each one is more than a phrase. It's a map. A doorway back from chaos into clarity. Seneca once wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." So why do we waste our mornings on comparison, on scrolling, on invisible fears, when all it takes is a few breaths, a few words, a few moments of presence to change the direction of an entire day? I've tried it. And I realized I don't need to carry all 17 in my bag. Just one. One seed planted at sunrise and the whole field of the day transforms. You don't need them all. You just need to begin. One phrase, one line with your breath, one line placed in your heart, and the whole day takes on a new rhythm. So don't try to carry all 17. Choose one. Just one. And tomorrow morning, before the world calls you away, whisper it. This is my invitation to you. Make your first word the seed of your day. Let it grow into peace, into strength, into clarity. Say it with me right now. I am the guardian of my mind. I plant the seed of peace at sunrise. A new day, a new you. It begins right here. Right now.